Today I'm going to be making my bed and showing you the right way to do it. Let's go. Okay, I do like making my bed. I do see things like there's all kinds of. I get sucked into these how-to and you know development stuff and how to improve your life and how to be a better, like, what do they call it, self-help bullshit, especially on YouTube. I mean, I like it. There are different variations of it. There's stuff there's most of the time people want money from you. Anyway, I think I've watched. This is a strange bed making tutorial because the ones that I've watched, which I can't believe, like I can't think of a specific bed making tutorial that I've watched, but I must have watched it because I can think in my head. They'll always start with clean. I don't have time to wash the sheets today. I mean, I do have another set of sheets that I like to make my bed with, but they're linen, and I really love linen. I love natural fibers. I mean, that's linseed oil. I want to cover my linseed. I want to cover my floors with linseed oil and stuff, and that's what I would do. I don't know, if I start whispering and stuff, it might turn into a little ASMR. There's people home here today, but they're being really quiet, and that's really strange. I don't like people listening to me, except for you. So I'm going to make my bed. I'm going to show you how I do. Oh yeah. So the 2-minute rule. It's one of the things that people procrastinate, and it's one of the ways to get past the procrastination. I don't know, some author came up with this theory, but if you can do it in 2 minutes, then do it. And one of the things on the list, one of the things on their list, I think, I don't know, because I've heard people talk about the 2-minute rule a lot, is make your bed. It does not take me 2 minutes to make my bed. We're going to see exactly how long it takes me to make my bed. Probably more like a half hour, somewhere in between 2 minutes and a half hour, I would say. I don't know where to put the camera. I'm not really that prepared for this. I was cleaning up today. I did some yard stuff this morning, and I have to do more of it. And today was a good day. It was supposed to rain, and it didn't rain. Maybe I have to put you way back, but you're behind the computer. I don't know. I guess we'll put you. I'll just carry you around at different times, I guess. Now, to the bed making. I think that when a normal person makes a bed, this is a good tutorial though, because who tells you how to make your bed in the morning without, even though it's not the morning now, it's almost late afternoon, the sun will be setting because of daylight savings times. Jumping all over the place as much as normal. When people, I don't know where I was going. We'll get to it. When people do a tutorial on making their bed, they usually will start with the clean linens and everything, but this is what happens when you wake up in the morning and you need to make your bed. And also we're going to be transforming it to Christmas season. So I've got all these throw pillows, which they have secret surprises too. But I'm going to put on my Christmas pillows, and they might be wrinkled. They might, because they're folded, they might have weird creases in them that I might not like. I might have to wash them first before I put them on, but we won't be doing that today, but I will put those on. I think I did a whole video here on, and it did really well, which was really strange when I just started this vlogging. It was probably one of the first videos I did. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. But it is about, I think it's called Pillow Talk. It very well could be. Or I've done a lot of YouTubing. I've done a lot of vlogging about making the bed because I spend a lot of time doing it, and I don't know if that's a bad thing. Some people would say that it would be, because sometimes it's procrastination because you're doing things instead of other things. And speaking of that, that's what was kind of happening. I was cleaning a little bit, and then I cleaned a little bit more before I recorded this video, and then cleaned up a little bit more. So I was tidying around here, and I mean, it was really kind of good. I had everything out, and now I have a whole other new pile of toys in there. There's another pile of things there. I've talked about this before. I am a box I am a box sorter, so I will like put things into boxes as projects, and everything's in boxes. Everything's a project. So, the most organized hoarder in the world. I do group like things together. That's what you're supposed to do. Let's oh, I do remember what I was saying. So I guess the 2-minute rule would apply to someone who has 2 pillows, a sheet, and a duvet. Some people don't sleep with a sheet; they just use a duvet. It kind of disgusts me because I don't wear anything to bed, and so I of course I want a sheet. I don't want the blanket because you don't wash the blanket. Just like in a hotel, you don't wash the blanket every day. I mean, you don't wash the sheets every day, and I don't know. Full disclosure, I don't wash my sheets every, like ideally I would wash my sheets I'd say every 2 days. You like that crisp feel, but I still get a good crisp feel in a week. Sometimes I'll say sometimes 2 weeks, but I mean it would depend on the situation. Sometimes I wake up in cold sweats or something. I think it's usually depending on what I ate that day or something. I don't want to say or something. I think I'm saying or something. But yeah, and then I'll wash the sheets if I know that they're. But if I'm like, it's especially this time of year. Usually it's like cool and it's just cozy. Something else that I do I think I follow 2 Australian vloggers. One is more like a minimalist fashion vlogger, and female, and one is a male fashion vlogger. And I think they both said, I could be mistaken, this could be totally wrong, they were both Australian. They both said that they don't make their bed because their mother taught them to just like leave the sheets open and let the bed air out. That makes a lot of sense to me. But still, I do like that accomplishing one thing a day also, because I tend to live out of my room and don't go anywhere or do anything but be in this room. If you're here just to see the bed making, I apologize. Who wants to just watch bed making though? I'm wearing my outdoor shorts, my shorts for doing yard work, and I'm wearing a t-shirt. So weird because it's because I was outside this morning, raked a tiny bit of leaves. I'm really I don't know if I'm not procrastinating that. I really had to get this stuff done. I really wanted to do this video. I really want to do a video every day. That's really good for me. It's really good for you. It's really good for the channel. And also, the more I do, the more I want to do. And I'm also accountability. So many reasons to do a vlog every day. Also, oh yeah, this will have to be a whole other video about my new computer, and that the fact that it's forcing me not to edit, and how this is really like limitations breed the best shit, guys. Like you want to lean into your limitations, and good things happen out of bad things all the time. This is what's going on right now. This is the best time of my life. It's always, every day's better than the next. I wish everybody's life was that way. Apparently that's not true. I don't understand, don't comprehend that. Must have something to do with drugs and ways that people have to. I mean, my shopping addiction is kind of something like that, but I guess it. Let's make the bed. So if I just had a sheet and a duvet and 2 pillows, you just have to go like this and go like this, and your bed's made. That would be 2 minutes. That would definitely be 2 minutes. But there's a lot of stuff that I have to do. First of all, I like old-fashioned things. Duvets aren't old-fashioned. I mean, feather beds, that's what they called them. That was more to do with the mattress. I wonder, I guess they had down-filled things, but I'm a quilt guy. I mean, look at my quilt. Threads are coming off it, but I mean, I like pioneer stuff. I like old. It is funny that I can accept this. I mean, you can actually, but I saw some sheets that actually came this way, but this, I've had this for many, many years, but I don't mind that it's fraying on the edges. It's white and clean and pristine, and I like everything white and clean and pristine, even though it's, and oh yeah, so I really want a new sheet set, but I'm not doing that because there's nothing wrong with the sheets that I have. There's something wrong with the linen ones. I don't like sleeping in linen sheets, and I don't know what that is all about. I should. That's how this video started out, wasn't it? I have a linen sheet set, and if I don't have time to wash this one, 2 sheet sets is great. I think that is a good plan. I've heard other people talk about 2 is all you need for sheet sets. And I 100%, I saw my screen glitching. I don't know if this video will be glitching. That said, I better like clear some stuff off this computer because I haven't done that in a while. Okay, so I can't just pull this stuff up. Like sometimes, I guess maybe, but I guess I do too much shifting around. And I have layers. So I have a layer of it's a drop cloth. It's a painter's drop cloth, but I love them. It's too big for the bed. I really should hem it and make it fit better. But so I have to do this whole fold at the end thing that I guess I'll show you because it's ridiculous. But it's not good enough. It's not for me to just pull the stuff on. And I guess today maybe I could have. I don't know. But we're not doing this. So I usually have to take every single thing off. So I have 3 layers this time of year. I do have another blanket. Sometimes I could have 4, depending on how cold it gets. But 1 painter's drop cloth. Everything's 100% cotton. But like I said, linen's not working for me, even though I would think that linen I would like. Linen's not good to wear too because it gets wrinkled, and yeah, I guess cotton's better. Okay, cotton-filled cotton blanket, kind of. I would like a more old-fashioned. It's kind of more Indian, kind of the way that it's quilted. But I definitely would prefer like some kind of traditional, like turn of the century quilting pattern, even if it was florals or paisley. And then the sheet, which I have to say kind of yellow in places because I guess that's what happens. And I don't use bleach. I do wash things with vinegar, and I wash my whites separately. Always wash your whites separately. Like not lights and darks, whites separately, and then everything else. I think if my future is homeless, though, I don't think I'll be able to wear whites and do the whole white thing. I'll probably have to. I guess that's why squeegee kids only wear black. Okay, so I also have a quilt, just an extra quilt that I had underneath here. It's brown. It's not one that I want to put on my bed, but I don't know, in case there's too much sweating or I don't know, some kind of accident. These things happen, you know, sometimes. And I will tuck the quilt and make sure a little cloth, like a clean washcloth, like if I was like, I don't know, I was going to bed, maybe I wanted to like moisturize my cuticles or something. Well, that is why I brought that in, because I was putting, even though I didn't do it, and I came in and I put the stuff on top, that, like the bottle, so that, like if it was, so I wouldn't get grease on the sheets. That's why this is in my bed. I didn't end up using it, but I'll put it in there anyway. And then I also, because I always take a shower, oh, look, now I'm on my, this is so bad, because I was outside, these are my outside yard work clothes, and I'm on the bed that I'm sleeping. But because I always take a shower right before I get into bed, which is why the sheets stay clean so long, I always put this, my hair is a little bit wet, so I always put a towel on my pillow. But sometimes there's like little particles or something, so I want to brush those all out and get this taut. So I go around to all the different sides of the bed, and I wish I had more space around. I really wish I had a bigger area. I want wide open space, wide open. That's what I want. That's what we're heading for. The question is it going to be so wide that it's going to be like outside? In the great outdoors. So I'm pulling this end now. And then getting out all the wrinkles here. And then I'll shake the sheet out over the floor just to make sure if there's anything lint or particles of dust or hair on the sheet itself, to get that out. And then I'll put this on. Now, here's something that people don't know. I really should have put on different shorts. Maybe I might have to take my pants off. This part, people will put their sheet on the wrong way. You're actually supposed to, the fancy side, the top side, this is the fancy side. This is the non-fancy side. This is the side where all of the stuff is sewn down. Now on, older fashioned linens or more expensive linens, you'll have some kind of detail or something on here. So you're actually supposed to put the side, the good side, where the seam, bad side where the seams are on, it's all good. Sheets are all good. I love them too much. But the back side, this is the back side where things are sewn down, and this is the fancy side. You're supposed to put the fancy side down. And I know that people don't do that. And that is because you want to turn the edge over and display your fancy side. You have to protect your face from the quilt. You don't want your face or your skin touching the quilt. So a lot of people don't know that. And they put the fancy side up. And it's really, well, it is applicable to me. It's not applicable to the way that I make my bed, because when I make my bed, I cover up this part, but, well, I'll show you. But for now, I just like tuck it all down here, and I take it down here. And this isn't a very long sheet, and even if it was, I don't think I would. I just take it straight down to the bottom here. So that it's not too tight, and so that it drapes perfectly here. So it's like squared off right here. And then all the extra bulk I take to the front so that it can be folded over and not have your skin touch the quilt at all, because that's what that protective sheet is for, the top sheet. The protective top sheet is for that. Okay, so now take you over to this side. It's really I have to do a good vacuuming under the bed. I would ideally have nothing under the bed. That's what I want. I want space all around it. And I truly believe that's what everyone should do. I think you should have just a good airflow around your bed. Even spiritually, that's not even the right word. it's scientifically physical that you have this flow. So ideally I'd have this bed in the middle of the room, and there'd be nothing underneath it and nothing. Now I think that the ideal bed that I would buy, I don't know, I want like an old-fashioned wooden bed, and I want it like that, even though this is a nice metal wrought iron old-fashioned looking bed. It's from IKEA, can't get it anymore. But the Restoration Hardware bed, the best one that I would choose, goes right to the bottom of the ground, so there's no worrying about anything being underneath it, because there is no underneath it. But it would be the space around it, and there definitely would be side tables. They definitely would have a function, because that is something that I wanted to mention. I do this. You shouldn't have a phone in your bedroom, and I believe that, but I mean, I live out of this one room, and this is how I operate. But I do put my computer on one end and my phone I plug in on the other end. Recently I have been, because I'm like listening to a podcast or something while I take a shower right before bed, so I want to finish it. I also want to charge my phone by the end of the day, so I will plug it in here, but I'll put it over to the side on top of by this chair a little bit. Usually I'll tuck it into the side here while the speaker is up and I'm listening to the end of whatever I was listening to. Oh, okay. So this is why we're over here. It's because I don't want these bins under my bed, but one day they won't be. The more space you have, the more things you don't have, the more storage you don't need. Eight of those filled with clothes. That all has to go away. That's all going away. It's not all going away, but most of it. So it's really important to me that this side, because it's going to shift more. If it's heavier on one side than the other side, then the sheet is going to shift. And also, it's not going to look as nice on both sides when you're walking around. Not that you can really see that side of that bed because it's up against so much stuff. But, so I'll go back and forth and look at dimension of this and the dimension of this, and see that it's got to go a little further down here. And then it's got a little further down here. And it's kind of hard because I think the sheets are a bit warped because they're older, and I think they might be a little longer on one end than they are on the other, and plus there's wrinkles. I'm not into ironing your sheets. Some people, you'd think that I would be because of all of this, but I like distressed and natural, and I don't mind that it's a little imperfection, a little wabi-sabi. Okay. Yeah. So it's hanging about the same length on the other side. It might actually be a little shorter. I might have to. There's probably lots of dust bunnies under there. I still haven't found time to do a good vacuum. Hey. Okay, so like I said, at the foot of the bed, just let it start there, and then all of the extra I let come up here, and I will like tuck it all out of the way until I get the first quilt on. which is the thin quilted quilt. And again, I'll shake it out. And I'll throw it on. And tags. It gets in the way sometimes. I have recently I haven't let my OCD take control where I see this tag and say, hey, this is the very bottom right corner. I kind of don't like to do that because sometimes this tag will flip out, and I'll come into the room and I'll see the tag sticking out. So I've been, I mean, that's OCD obviously on its own, but I've been fighting against that and turning this upside down because there's no difference between the both sides, just this tag. But considering that corner is never seen, because there's so much stuff over there and it's tighter, then I've been putting it upside down. Also, I think that it's probably good to rotate this. So sometimes I'll put the tag up here, over at that corner, just to get so that one area isn't worn out more than one other, depending on where I sit on the corner of my bed during the day. Where, yeah, it just so it's used. It's all used. I don't know if that's explanationable. I don't know if that made any sense. So now I have to measure this back and forth until I get this at an equal distance from the ground on both sides. And again, I just take this right to the footboard. I butt it up against there, and then all of the extra gets scrunched up here, because we'll deal with that soon. Sometimes when they're freshly folded, like the sheets, there will be a line down the middle because I will fold all of my sheets long ways. So there's going to be this big center crease down the middle of the sheets or the quilt. And luckily, I have a center post, so I can line that crease down the center, and it'll show me exactly where the center of the quilt is, which isn't ideal because you're seeing fold lines in your stuff, and that's not beautiful. That's not what you want to see. But at the same time, it's a guide and it's very helpful. And I have a faint one that's always there in the drop cloth top sheet. I don't know if I'm doing this perfectly because I'm kind of rushing, but at the same time this is taking me longer than it normally would. Maybe. Let me use some of my boxes of outgoing parcels to hold you up. Here's where I will fold down the quilt nice and flat. So we'll make this, and then this is where you take advantage of this sheet being turned the right side down. The fancy side up, because the fancy side was down, and now when you flip it over, it's up. But because I don't iron my sheets, I have this wrinkle here, and so, or this is like this is a fantastic contrast between OCD and coping, and because I've come up with all of these little techniques to make things easier, but at the same time fulfill that obsessive compulsive perfection that I'm after, but with that little bit of freedom that is important for us to accept in life, or for me. So I do that as the because normally this is a very short sheet. I don't know why it's so short, but your sheet probably will go down to here or something if you have normal sheets. I don't know what's up with the sheets that I bought. It's just it's much shorter, but it does the trick. And then before I go into bed, I'm gonna fold it down like this, and then we're gonna have lots of, like, there's no touching the quilt. However, there is a whole other step because of the next blanket. So that's not very many blankets that I put on. I mean, sometimes I've got this extra one, and I know that some winters I've put on this other. This is like a traditional old school, I got it at Walmart, but just I saw it, unbleached cotton. I like the color of the stripe. It fit my stuff. They came with different colored stripe, but it's just an old school traditional. Yeah, and I have put that on in the past, but this is keeping me warm, even though it's, we've been having below, have we had? Yeah, I think we've had some below freezing nights. This does the trick. I'm a hot blooder. Also, that is a good reason to do this. And I've heard that in my, my weekly podcasts and stuff that I listen to, and things to help you. If you get too hot, they say to let your feet come out. So kick the sheets off your feet. So the way that I do this, definitely allows you for that. So if you need a little cool down, expose your feet, and that will help out with that. Did I just totally unmake it? No. When it's so tight and so flat and so symmetrical, then you can flip things around and flip them back, and they fall perfectly. Okay, I'll show you what I do with the second quilt, but it's really just a top sheet kind of thing. I don't know, a top blanket, a protective blanket. The thing is, I have another blanket to put on the top, over the protective blanket. Let's switch sides. So this one's really hard, and unlike anything that you will probably encounter, because this was not constructed to be used on a bed, so it is way too long. I think I do have to take you back over there. And this is the best technique I have come up with. I should have just oh, look. It looks way shorter. It looks way shorter on this side than it does on the other side. That would make me sometimes I'd have to pull the whole thing apart and then have to do it all over again. But, okay, I was starting to tell you about this. This is what people do, and if this is perfect and not and ironed and all straight and flat and beautiful, then it probably is going to look okay. But because my sheets are quite wrinkled and they don't quite match, I don't fold this over and expose it and put the pillows on top. I am going to cover the whole thing with this, making a weird noise, with this blanket. So any of the imperfections here are now going to be covered. So this side, it's hemmed here, so this is going down because this is the finish it off. This is the finishing. And here what we do is we butt it against the headboard instead of the footboard. I mean, I used to do it the other way around, but this is best. And then, well, I'll tell you this right now. So this is how I do it, and I get it all flat here. But at the end of the night, what I do is I will take it and tuck it under, go like this, and then go like this, so that my face or arms or skin isn't touching that sheet. But for the daytime, where I just want to hide all of this stuff, is I just put this over the top and let it hang down, squared off at the headboard. Oh, this is the side that I like to use for the bottom. It already has folds in it. Oh no. Now I have it upside down. Okay. I have a top and a bottom and an upside down and a forward, and it's all important. Okay, so it's probably not be able to see with the naked eye, but I think because it was folded in a package for a very long time when it was manufactured, or maybe it could just be the seaming in the cotton, that there's just this distinct line down the very center of it, that it is a guide that I'm so grateful for, because I just line it up at my center post and I can see where the center is, and I'm able to get the same drapage on both sides with littler effort. I have to feel. Spread it out. Oh, I didn't show you. I didn't show you my fold in half. Oh, I can't believe I didn't do that this time. I don't even know why. Sometimes I will, when I'm doing that other quilt, I'll fold it in half long ways, and I will line up, and I'll put half of the quilt, the folded end will go right here, and I will put it all the way down here, and I do this every time. I don't know why I didn't do it this time. And I drape both, so the fold is here, and they're both draping down over the sides. I line it all up, and then I'll just take the top layer, flip it over, and so that we have the center line down the middle, and no effort, no back and forth as much. Okay. 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 What's the time looking like? Okay, so now we have, I mean, really, I should have broken out the sewing machine a long time ago and just made this to fit. Stuff stretches out though, so it could be very dangerous. And if you just, yeah, I am afraid to, you know, measure twice, cut once. Because you can really ruin things, and there's so much extra. I wouldn't know if I was gonna leave a little. Like, do I cut it to the perfect size of my bed? Do I leave a little extra? And then how much extra? What do I base that measurement on? And that's why I didn't do it, because there's just too many choices. It's so long. So I will fold this back, the whole extra piece that I have here. So this is applicable to no one else's situation except my own. No one else in the world would use a painter's drop cloth as a bedspread. So I fold it down here, pay very close attention to if it's square here on both sides, and make sure, and sometimes it's a little uneven, or like sometimes it's like a little warped. It's not a perfect cut shape. I guess this one is. I have a few of these that I rotate. So it's looking real good and straight. And then I'll take this, making sure that this is going flush and straight, and fold that down here. And on this side, any hairs or anything. And this makes me happy. Right now, when I'm looking in the camera, despite all of this toy mess that I had, the plastic stuff that I have to get rid of. I wouldn't have the plastic stuff in my room, believe me, if I had that option. And then this is square. It's not exactly square, but let's check over there and see if it's coming up over here. You don't want that down like this and over there like that. We want to center it. Yeah, we get some room. And then I fold it down again. And then, okay, and then it ends up looking like you've got an extra little blanket at the bottom. It actually looks like you have your top sheet folded over. This looks like the headboard, and I used to do that. But that extra layer, and then I would pull this down at the because this would be too heavy to have up around my neck, and it would be uncomfortable. So I would pull it down, but then that extra layer of this would make me too hot, and it would just be kind of awkward because it doesn't go the full length of the bed. So I had decided that it was better to do it at the foot of the bed than to do it at the head of the bed, even though it does look like the head of the bed right now. But it also can be disguised as kind of like a throw blanket, an extra blanket at the end of the bed, and it's out of the way, and it leaves room for this part to be extra tidy, and there's all the pillows to contend with. So usually I will start with, because I don't have a linen chest. I'll take this is my extra one of this top sheet. This is an extra blanket. Like if it's really chilly, I will snuggle up with them. These are my extra protective covers, or just extra little cotton blanket. They're the same as these panels. Also, they're the same curtains that I have in my bathroom. You probably can't see it hanging on this window here. That window there. They are from the dollar store. I always wished that the dollar store would get cotton drop cloths, and one day they did. They are a mix. There's a bit of polyester in them, but I don't care because I use them as kind of scraps and utilitarian. I'll show you that in a second. And then, an extra blanket. Sometimes I'll use this to cozy up with. And like if I'm doing something and it's chilly, but I will plop those down here. It would be nice to have a linen chest. I would really like to have a place to put that stuff, but I don't. So I put them there, and then now on my new chairs, which I love, which I finally can get stuff off the floor. I guess I would have put them over on the table before, or I would put them at the foot of the bed. So I'd have this big pile of heavy stuff at the foot of my bed while I'm trying to sleep. So much better since I had those chairs. Okay. And then I have 3 of these pillows, because 2 wouldn't be enough to go perfectly across, and also because these 2 are filled with plush toys. Basically they're plush monsters, and all kind. Yeah, that's a story for the Toy Channel. But I like how pillows. I like how the pillows look. I like to actually. They're good like if you're sitting in bed and you want to sit up in bed and you want to use the laptop in bed, it's functioning to have the large pillows and lots of pillows. Some to put under your knees, some to put behind your back. My style and my room and my likes are so industrial and, believe it or not, masculine, that it does bring a little comfort, a little warmth to it. Because it is all about being cozy. Oh man. I guess this top sheet has to be washed soon, so it's not so bad that I'm climbing on it. And then I have a third that has a real pillow in it. These used to have real pillows, or did they? They might not have. I might have got them specifically to stuff with my collections. So then I'll do that. And then I have these two pillows. And these two pillows, these crazy pillowcases, the way that the design is done where it's just cut off and it's like, it looks, I think it's New York. I don't know where it is. I like it. There's something written on it, which is not a good thing in decorating, really. But I mean, I don't care. I guess signs aren't really good. But it's like I found it at the dollar store, and I couldn't think of a. I mean, maybe if there was something antique. I don't like things that are too hipsterish. I don't like with the like some kind of perfectly hipster has this outdoorsy thing and this industrial thing, but it's a little too perfect. I like something that is legitimately old-fashioned. This is not old-fashioned, but it's I don't know what it is. It's just wabi-sabi enough, but it just, when I do it, we're changing these today. I guess I should make it. It just fits in right. It's got that. I got so much black wrought iron around here. I do that. The edge, the details on the pillows. Again, mine are all wrinkly, and I find that acceptable. They mostly get covered up anyway, so you don't really know what it is. So it's just this little. I think that has a lot to do with it too, which makes it okay. So these are the pillows that I actually use to sleep on. I only use one. And then I have these ones. These were from IKEA. But the funny thing is, it's like they were made with the same. I think one of my drop cloths is like identical to the cloth that, like the pattern and the weave in it is identical to the ones that I bought at IKEA. This does seem a little thicker, a little like the quality is really nice. I don't know. Well, yeah, the quality is really nice, but they're also discontinued from IKEA. And I'll put that on there. And one of my hairs. And there's no karate chopping or anything. You don't want to fluff your pillows, though. That's important. I mean, I don't care that much, but look how small that is. It's really funny. Sometimes I used to like record videos at the foot of my bed, and people say, you need more than a twin bed, but it is a queen bed. As you saw how hard it was, like from this angle, you can definitely tell. It's just, and I feel I'm so, look at it. I use one pillow though. For a person who uses one pillow, to have all of that. But some days, especially like one day I might have like lots of work to do. It hasn't happened in a long time because I haven't had that kind of work. I haven't had that kind of work to do in quite a while, where I had to sit at a computer for a long time. But I did. I used to like sit on the bed and have these pillows under my knees. Oh, it's very important to me where the zippers go. The zipper line, which is a little different from all of the other edges, that has to go down. That's me doing this quickly without paying too much attention. The zipper line has to go down. This edge on both sides goes out to the edge, because that's where you see the detail. That's where the detail of the pillowcases. One day I'll have pillowcases with greater, like, old-fashioned turn-of-the-century embroidery edges. One day. Let's see, there's still people here. They're being quiet. I don't know what's going on. And then, because we're gonna get on the bed now. Oh, the hair towel, which I think is very common, but I think silk pillowcases, I'll fold this. I always fold things long ways, no matter what it is, because it puts a better wrinkle in it. It's so much better to hang something like this on a towel rack too, when it's long ways. And when you use it and you take it out, something that has a crease down the center, its main crease down the center, looks a lot better than when you have something that has the main. When you unfold this after it's been folded a long time, that's not going to look nice. When you do something the long way, and so I can make everything consistent. You know what I do? I always remember that I fold like a book the long way, and then I make sure that I fold everything up and up, so that everything that I fold will always be in the same direction. But I'll put this back here on top of the blankets, and if I don't put the blankets there, sometimes I'll leave the blankets on the chair because they look pretty nice. But yeah, I'll just put that down there, and this doesn't need the blankets behind it to stay in position, but it helps. And then, as I mentioned before, I have one of these thrown around, and sometimes I'll just throw it there, but for the most part, throughout the day, this is all wrinkled, not perfect. There are little imperfections, like little threads and stuff sewn in here, and I don't mind them. Like there might be a little bit of red sewn in. But just to keep things a little bit more safe, most of the time, I mean, it doesn't necessarily look great all the time, but when I'm working here or I have boxes and stuff, I'll put down, because I have stain, because I eat on my bed all the time. I gotta put the necklaces away. They're still out. See, in this way I can be dirty and be on the bed and lay down and stuff. So yeah, I have one of these standing by, so I can do that and sit on the bed in my dirty clothes. But it's Christmas time. How long did it take? Only an hour. It only took me an hour to make my bed. And we're not done. I didn't remember I had this one, which is kind of interesting. Because I am pretty much against words in decorating. I mean, but in my case, the words don't mean anything, and they get hidden. This is not so bad. This could be. I like the material this is made of. It's made of a very. Again, I would have gotten this at the dollar store. I don't think I've ever used this. I thought that there was some red in it. I could use that, but it doesn't compare to my cityscape stuff. That's just a subtle bit of black in the white. Is this one different? I think this is one. I think I remember a bit of color. I like this piping, this little bit of color in there. But I don't like any color in my surroundings, especially not blue. I love a blue sky. I love a blue ocean. I don't like having blue. Now, some of this antique pottery has blue in it, so I have kind of opened up about it. And when I decorate with toys, there's definitely blue in those. But I really just want these earth tones for the most part around me. And then I like the black wrought iron. These are the chairs that I have. Those are simple metal chairs from IKEA. That is, or no, sorry, they're from Walmart. In fact, you can get padded ones. Don't get padded ones. They're just old school, regular design. I was looking for surfaces to put things on. I mean, I could probably get rid of them now that I have these ones that I got for $2 each. If you've been following along, I cannot believe that. I got 4 of them, $8, 4 chairs that I want to take with me for the rest of my life. They're the chair I've been waiting for. They're foldable, and I can move them around. I can use them for surfaces. I can use them for sitting on. I love a chair like that. I can use it as a side table, as you can see. But this, I don't know. I guess because I go to the dollar store all the time, I find stuff, and they have the, especially around the holidays, they'll put out these fleece pillowcases, and they just have odd patterns in them, like that cityscape. And then there were these vintage chickadees. Wait, cardinals. Oh, there's chickadees and cardinals, and I don't, especially this time of the year. I mean, they're the perfect color. They're like this. They're not even. They're an off-white, and there's white in them, and they're kind of gray. And then there's snow, and they're. 'Tis the season now, so we're switching these out. And I think in that video that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that I did talk about how I turned just regular pillows into throw pillows by folding them in and down and under. And I do talk about these pillowcases in there where I do the same thing, and how I was lucky. Not only was I lucky about the pattern, but, and I think I bought a few of these, so a few of these had patterns going in different directions, but the pattern is down on these, which would not look good normally, because your pillow has to go this way. That would look, but because of what I use them for, and just like I did with this old quilted pillowcase that I had that I loved, but the zipper on it broke, and I use it. I push down all the feathers inside this pillow. I'll link more pillow. If you're not bed made out, I'll link those videos at the end of this video, and you can see in depth how I do this. Oh yeah, I have to be very careful about what I'm choosing. I'm going to choose the pattern. We can only do this once. I might actually end up washing these though to get the the off-season wrinkle out of the middle of them. We'll see how tight it looks and how good it is, but there's two sides to both pillows, so I want to see which looks the best. See, that's a bunch of bird heads being cut off. Not the best thing to have that at the top of your pillow, so that is a better choice at the top of the pillow. And then over here we have a bunch of tails at the top there. Not the best thing for the front. So this is a better front. I think it's the same scene, unfortunately. It seems to be very similar, but it doesn't matter. It would be better if it was a little bit different on both pillows. So I got the quilted part on the front because that's the softest part, and I'm stuffing the pillow in. And oh, this is hurting my back. Especially I should stand up. I'll put you on top of the pillows. Oh, not good. Not good in that position. I have to figure that out. I don't bend at the waist, and it's been my whole life. And when I was doing lots of yoga, which I really miss yoga. Yoga is super expensive. I love doing yoga in a group. Maybe we'll do that one day on Wildcard Wednesday. We'll do a yoga class. I'm really good at yoga. And I was made for it. But it's expensive. I love the community. I like the sense of community. Depends on the community, but no, I like that it makes me spend time with people. I like feeling the energy in the room with yoga. It's so much better than like doing it with a computer or just doing a class. I mean, maybe doing it by myself. I do everything by myself. So if I really remember the whole flow series and do it without a computer, that could be good. That's maybe what I should probably do. So this is the finished product. Oh, I didn't show you the way that I tuck it in underneath, but again, watch one of those other videos. Tuck it underneath, make it all squared off, make it a square pillow, stick it in there. We had a little Papa Christmas happening. We're all looking. I put these plates up here. The plates that remind me of Christmas that I just bought for $1 or $2 from the thrift store that I'll throw out. That look, they don't even really belong. They're off-centered. Oh, maybe I can do something. I'm probably gonna mix that stuff up later. I gotta have my extra cans just in case I need to use them. I've been recycling most of them, but every once in a while I've been using a lot for making stuff, using them as tools, not to keep the stuff. Do you? Never mind. Anyway, I love my insulators. They have to come with me. They're gonna go in my backpack. I'm taking them all over the world, and then I have some blue ones that are a little bit hidden, but they're very nice colors. It's not always blue can trick you in. This wallpaper. This is the wallpaper that they use at the Fairmont. I have a strip of that just in case. Oh yeah, we have to finish the pillows. So yeah, we got that little Papa Christmas there. Both look nice. So that's what we do until the end of December, and then that goes away, and then we'll bring back the cityscape. Or will we even be here? So I hope you enjoyed this very long bed making. It took me an hour to make my bed. The sun is setting. Oh, it looks bright outside, but it's actually dark. The sun is going down outside. Oh, I think that looks more like what it looks like. Wow. I am a piece of work, aren't I? I could do it a lot faster without you. It would have been done a lot faster. But even I didn't let the recording stress me out too much for this, and I was I'm putting the wrong side on. I'm starting to relax. I didn't worry too much about people hearing me. I notice that I get a lot more comfortable if I don't start off the video with the topic that I want to talk about, and maybe that's what I should probably do, so I don't put the emphasis on it. Like Thursday, if I don't talk myself out of it, I've got a super controversial video to do. That the last controversial video I lost more subscribers than I made. But I'm going to be the most authentic person on YouTube. And that is what this one-shot recording does. There's no fixing any mistakes, because there are no mistakes. I've got nothing to be canceled from. I mean, I guess I'd have to delete a whole video. There we go. The square chickadee and cardinal. Is that what it's called? I hope it's a cardinal. Red cardinal. I got all these birds in my... I haven't seen a chickadee. Got lots of cardinals. Weird. Chickadees are very Canadian. Maybe it's because it's not wintertime. I don't know if I have seen them in Ontario. Weird. Maybe I don't remember them from Ontario. I'll wash those. I mean, probably have to wash my sheets tomorrow after all of this. And that's my... Oh, it's not good enough. I'm going to throw these out, by the way. Donate them. When I say throw something out, I don't throw it out unless it is legitimately garbage. There we go. Yeah. We have a Christmas bed. I'm feeling in the Christmas spirit. It's good that with my little lanterns on and my little lights. I like a yellow light, not a... I hate this. But the white lights are good for video recording and the workings. Let's see how it, yeah, so it actually looks like there's a fire burning, and sometimes I will put a fire on this monitor, and then I can turn down all the lights and it just makes the whole room flicker. So that happens too. Didn't get my parcels to the post office, didn't get any more leaves done today, but wait, I have to spread this protective sheet down. Well, I sit here and oh my goodness, I don't think I made my thumbnail. I'm gonna have to make my thumbnail. It's gonna look something like this. I'll have to turn the lights on again. I love you. Thanks for making my bed with me for an hour.